Today's short is being brought to you by Goya Foods. If it's Goya, it has to be good.
Your daily game plan for success. It's Sachs in the Morning. Steve Sachs.
Hi, Steve Sachs here with Sachs in the Morning. Happy Tuesday to everybody. It's a beautiful day out today. We are celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month, and on this Tuesday, we get to talk about one of my favorite players of all time and some of the amazing things that he did. What an unbelievable life this man led. I'm talking about the great Roberto Clemente. Roberto Clemente from Puerto Rico is still regarded as one of the most heralded, most respected people, not only athletes, but people from all around the world, and especially from his native Puerto Rico. This was the first man, when you look about Roberto Clemente, he's the first Latino ever voted to the Hall of Fame. And by the way, he and Lou Gehrig were the only two people that were enshrined into the Hall of Fame before the 5-year waiting period is up. You have to wait 5 years before you can be eligible for the Hall of Fame because of his early death. And the same thing goes for Lou Gehrig. These two went in to the Hall of Fame right away. And that's something to be said because it just shows that there was no doubt about Roberto Clemente going in to the Hall of Fame. Carlos Baerga, incidentally, we had him on last week's full episode, and he was a great interview. In case you hadn't had a chance to listen to the Carlos Baerga interview, you got to listen to this because this guy was, his hero. And like many other people, not only in the Latin American communities, but everywhere in sports. Roberto Clemente transcended sports. He transcended boundaries as far as countries go. It didn't matter. This guy played with a reckless abandon. He played with the passion. I used to watch him run, and I thought, this guy's running in violence. I mean, he looks like he is just ready to tear the base off. I mean, he was so fun to watch. He played with such passion. Let me read to you, if I can, just a few of the things that Roberto Clemente had done. First of all, you got to remember that Roberto Clemente was about 5'10", and he weighed about 170 pounds. He wasn't the biggest guy in the world, although he played like it. Listen to these numbers. A .317 lifetime batting average, 12 gold gloves, 4 batting titles, 15 All-Star games, 1,305 RBIs. If you can, we're going to put this in the show notes, a couple of links about him throwing the ball. If you have a chance to go and click on that, watch Roberto Clemente's throwing arm. This thing is a freaking bazooka. I mean, he had an absolute missile that he would throw from right field and get people at home, get people at third. After the word got out, they didn't even try it. They just said, nope, I'll wait for the next hitter. I'm not running on this dude. He had an absolute cannon in right field. So go on the show notes, click on there, and check out Roberto Clemente's throwing arm. It's sick. Roberto Clemente had done things that we may not see in baseball anymore. Or if we do, it's going to be very, very few and far between because he was so talented, but he played with such passion. I think that's the one thing you can say about Roberto Clemente. He played with passion. He lived with passion. And unfortunately, that's how he lost his life. He was on his way to an earthquake-stricken Nicaragua when he found out that all the food and medicine that he was sending on his own free will over to Nicaragua when they had a terrible earthquake there, the government was taking and stealing what he had sent over there and selling it and making money off of the things that he would send to Nicaragua. So Roberto Clemente rented his own plane and got his own equipment on this plane, which turned out to be a bad plane, and he wound up losing his life after takeoff from Puerto Rico going to Nicaragua. So his passion to help other people was one of the reasons why he unfortunately lost his life. But that's the way he lived it. That's the way he played baseball, and he was an incredible human being. They have one of the most prestigious awards in baseball. It's like what they call the Good Guy Award, but it's now called the Roberto Clemente Award. It's for exemplary behavior on and off the field. That's what he was about. And so they've got this great award named after Roberto Clemente. And if you look at the numbers in baseball, when he was playing, there was probably less than 5% Hispanic involvement in Major League Baseball. Now there's over 30%. I think it is the largest ethnic community now participating and playing in Major League Baseball. And a lot of it had to do with the input and the example of Roberto Clemente. And that's my short for today. If you like what you heard, give us a positive review, subscribe, and share Also, remember that the Sacks in the Morning swag is now available on my Instagram site. Go to SacksInTheMorning_podcast. You'll see it right there on the Instagram, and just hit the link. Everything's there. Mugs, hats, tumblers, you name it. Take advantage of it. And thanks to Al Hendrickson Toyota for their support of this podcast. And be sure to visit alhendricksontoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.